An Indian national named Harjinder Singh was a truck driver, initially from India, who got his license in California and Washington State, who was driving in Florida when he decided to make an illegal U-turn in the middle of the highway. I don't know if it was to save time or whatever, or if he was just trying to get to a new destination with a detour, but at any rate, there was a young family of 3 people that were driving in a van, and in the middle of his U-turn, they slammed right into the side of the vehicle, and as far as I know, they died on impact, or shortly thereafter. Then this man, Harjinder, was seen staring oddly or emotionlessly or glibly at the camera afterwards, while emergency crew were trying to dig this car out from underneath this tractor trailer. Needless to say, a lot of people found this quite off-putting because this isn't how most people react to an accident. He either seems proud of the fact that people are dead, or at the very least emotionless and uncaring. Now, adding even more insult to injury, Harjinder Singh then fled the scene and ran back to California, after which Florida had to have him extradited by U.S. Marshals back to Florida to be charged. Now, of course, this made national headlines and caused the administration to weigh in, and Marco Rubio decided to put a hold on all foreign nationals applying for visas to be truck drivers. And I even talked about it part of the time in my recent video talking about 55 million visa holders who are now put on notice. And you might have thought, okay, wow, it's all old and done now, right? A man led to a bunch of deaths, the administration has weighed in, we're gonna start putting in more structures and taking it to the states who decide to just allow legal immigrants to just get licenses and lead to the deaths of American citizens. You think that was all of it, right? Well, no. But now, because we live in this crazy era of social media, this hasn't just become some brief national incident that made the headlines and disappeared the next day. It has now taken a new life of its own and eloped into new areas of ridiculousness. Take, for instance, this post by an organization or group known as the United Sikhs, which call themselves a global humanitarian relief and advocacy group affiliated with the United Nations. Join our cause and make a difference. Humanity first. And they have this nice banner saying serving humanity across the globe, right? In their profile picture it says United Sikhs recognize the human race as one. So you expect this to be some kind of humanitarian thing. Perhaps they'll weigh in and say, hey guys, this is unfortunate what happened. It's bad, blah, blah, blah. We give our condolences, right? We can't just do that. We have to take it a step further. We are saddened by the loss of life and the tragic accident that occurred in Florida on August 12th. We grieve with the families impacted and offer our condolences. Okay, that's a reasonable start. Let's see what else they say. We are also in touch with the family of the accused, Singh, and are advocating for equity and that the law must be appropriately and uniformly applied, and those threatening and spewing discriminatory rhetoric and disinformation must be held to account. We call on everyone to come together in times of tragedy rather than exploit them for political grandstanding and furthering personal agendas. What? For anyone seeking to assist or join this effort, please reach out to our team, blah, 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 blah. So, what you're telling me is, a man makes a choice leading to the death of 3 people, killing an entire family. They give a very short blurb saying, wow, that's so sad, we're sad by the loss. And then they go, guys, don't be racist, don't spread misinformation, don't be mean to Sikhs, don't be bad, people, don't be bad, please. Oh, and we're reaching out to the accused. We're reaching out to the accused. We're in touch with the family of the accused, Harjinder Singh. Excuse me. I get sometimes we play this legal game where we call people accused because we don't want to get into like some kind of legal trouble with accusing someone who didn't actually perform a crime of something. But he's not accused. He killed those people. The only question is if you do it out of negligence, ignorance, or murder. That's it. Manslaughter or murder. Those are your choices. Did he do it on purpose? Did he do it by accident? So he's not accused, first of all. And second of all, you're in touch with the family of the accused, but you're not in touch with the loved ones of the people who died? Is that not important to you? Is that not relevant?
Huh?
And just to make sure that I wasn't alone in this sentiment, I went to the replies. He's not accused, he's guilty. It's all right there on camera. He made an illegal U-turn, cutting off traffic and killed 3 people. He showed absolutely no remorse, but instead looked irritated, like they inconvenienced him by crashing. If you're bothered by the fact that he and your community is getting the spotlight, then maybe you should point the finger at your own community for setting a horrible example and creating a stereotype you obviously hate. He ran over and murdered a family of 3, and your concern is mean words? Shut up and log off. This guy broke into America and killed a family of 3, and you're rushing to his defense in case anyone calls him mean names? Disgusting. I've always been empathetic to Sikhs, but that goodwill has just evaporated. Great work, guys. I'm sure this won't come back to haunt your community. You need to seek justice for the dead, not exemptions. Sorry this foreign scammer murdered your family or whatever, but being mean to him will not stand. You idiots are too stupid to realize your best course of action would be to say, forget this guy, throw the book at him. He does not represent our community. Instead, you back him up and destroy any shred of goodwill anyone might have had for you. Way to go, morons. Beyond reasonable doubt, could he also not read pictures? I didn't even see this photo before. Apparently there's literally a U-turn sign. If you can't read a U-turn sign, you don't need words for that, guys. And it kind of goes on and on like that. And honestly, they're right. When I first saw this, I was really, really, really frustrated, because if you're gonna be an advocate for a community, let's say you're the community of bookbinders and someone in your community decided to go and burn down a library. I'm not advocating for that, by the way, that's stupid. Let's say the bookbinder community had someone burn down a library. You don't come out and say, oh, I'm so sorry about the library that got burned down. Don't take it out on the avid readers. Don't take it out on the avid reader communities. And above all, don't call them nerds. That's mean. Like, I understand the library burned down and hundreds of millions of dollars went down the drain and probably priceless books that may not be repaired or ever come back. But that's fine. Just don't call people names. Don't call them geeks. Don't call them nerds. Don't be mean. And above all, don't give them wedgies. Like... Are we supposed to take this seriously? No, if you want people to take you seriously, just say, hey, no, arson's bad, throw a book at him. That was an unintentional pun.
I'd kill myself.
This whole thing was reminiscent of whenever there was some kind of attack on either on our soil or overseas in the Middle East, like with the Charlie Hebdo incident. The first day, everyone would say, oh no, it was so terrible, and they'd all change their profile pictures to match whatever the incident was. And then the next day, everyone would come out and say, no, don't be racist towards community. Racism bad. Don't say bad things. Don't be mean to people. How about we just say, hey, bad stuff happened. Bad thing is bad. Hold them to account, and everyone should be accountable for what your community does. Why not just do that? Why not just say that? Why not just say, hey, we recognize someone in our community did this. He's not one of us. Go get him. And if anyone else in our community wants to do this, not acceptable. Boom, we're done. We can't just do that. We have to sit there and make all these excuses, and it's just so mind-bogglingly frustrating. And in case that wasn't enough, there's now a petition on change.org that has supposedly 2.2 million signatures. I actually had to look it up to see if this was real, because honestly, I just assumed that these were all bots, but appears from sentiment that I've seen on Twitter, this is real. People have actually signed this, including people from India, and other countries. The New York Post has the headline, petition supporting legal immigrant trucker accused of killing 3 people gets 2.2 million signatures. More than 2 million people have signed a petition calling for leniency for an Indian illegal immigrant trucker accused of killing 3 people in Florida in a crash. Harjinder Singh, 28, faces 3 charges of vehicular homicide and up to 45 years in prison after he allegedly pulled an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike on August 12th, 6 years after he entered the country illegally. Since his arrest in California, 2.2 million people have signed a change.org petition calling for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to commute Singh's sentence if he gets convicted. What? Are we insane? This was a tragic accident, not a deliberate act. While accountability matters, the severity of the charges against him does not align with the circumstances of the incident. Manisha Kaushal, the creator of the petition, signed it. Collective Punjabi Youth, and many of the commenters in support appeared to be Indian nationals. It was an accident. He made a terrible mistake, not a deliberate choice to harm anyone. He was working hard to support his family. Like so many of us, in one wrong decision changed everything. A 45-year prison is not justice, one commenter, Marvy, based in Sydney, Australia, wrote. 45 years of imprisonment? Is it fair for a young boy who left his home country to have a bright future, support family? A second user based in Mississauga, Ontario, wrote. Why are people who are overseas signing a change.org petition for something in Florida? Huh? And why is Florida supposed to care? Singh's family is in his home village in India's Punjab region have also spoken out since the news of his arrest, calling for him to get a more lenient sentence. His age is 28 years, and if he gets 45 years of jail, then you can imagine what will be the condition of his family. Relative Dilbagh Singh told Times of India, speaking from the village of Watal, close to the Pakistani border. Indian politicians have also weighed into the controversy after Secretary of State Marco Rubio froze commercial truck driver visas in the wake of the deadly crash. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. Although there's this nice sentence at the very end that says, Singh entered the US illegally in 2018 after mortgaging his land in India, records show. So basically, this guy, Harjinder Singh, has broken into the country, refused to integrate, broken the law multiple times, ended 3 people's lives, spat on our goodwill, and ran away from the scene of the crime, and we're supposed to feel bad for him. No, not happening. Now we have a change.org petition with 2.2 supposed million signatures saying, oh, please be nice to him. A 45-year sentence is so terrible. You know what else is terrible? An entire family, entire generations just wiped out. That's pretty terrible. But we can't feel bad for them. We have to feel sorry for the man who ended these people's lives. No, I won't. We don't do enough in this country. We don't do enough on social media. We don't do enough across the globe. And frankly, just vilifying villainy. Why is it that every time something bad happens, we have to take the side of the person who perpetrated the crime in the first place? That's backward. No, that's sick. This is sick behavior. That pun also is not intentional. Don't make comments about this, please. But as I said in my last video, this is the reason you have Donald Trump in office. People have just gotten tired of this. People are tired of social media or the empathetic celebrity just always taking the side of the villain. Why don't you take the side of the victim? Why don't we have an outpouring of sympathy for the family who died? And after over a decade of this, dare I say even decades of this kind of sentiment stirring on social media and in our culture, people have gotten fed up. Why do we have Indian politicians not decrying people breaking into the United States, not decrying those same people leading to deaths of American citizens? Because they don't care. This is why Americans' goodwill for having people come to the country is drying up. And in some ways, that's not even a good thing. All across social media, I've seen people not just advocating for getting rid of illegal immigration, but also for tamping down on legal immigration. Why is that? Because Americans are just tired. We're tired of having the entire galaxy come in to our country. We're tired of everyone wanting to come in, not wanting to understand what being American is about, not wanting to integrate, not wanting to respect our culture, respect our laws, and it's too much. Some people just want to close the border altogether. I'm not one of those people, but if you're someone under the sound of my voice who saw the story and thought, man, it's really sad that Harjinder Singh is going to lose 45 years of his life, then I'm sorry. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get people who don't want to hear anything you have to say. You're going to get people who are do everything they can to disenfranchise you from being able to vote or to have your voice heard because they believe that nothing you say is worthwhile. And frankly, dare I say it, it's well deserved. Look, in my opinion, there's been a wave across America and culture for the last 10, 20, maybe even 30 years. I'm not entirely sure when it started, but there's been a move to just constantly take the side of the villain. And maybe it's partly because of the media that we consume where our villains are just misunderstood. They couldn't possibly be evil. They couldn't possibly just not care about human life. They're really kind people at heart. They really want the best for their family. And frankly, there is a time and a place for that kind of sentiment, but generally, evil people should just be considered evil. That's it. And we don't need to understand their family life. We don't need to understand anything about them except that they're evil. Now, why is that? It's because some generalizations are actually healthy for society. If we spend too much time trying to figure out what little good they had in them, then we will miss taking care of the people who are victims. We will miss taking the side of people who have been victimized. The government will have people all up and down the ladder who don't actually take the time to care about the citizens we have. We need to return to reason, we need to return to morality, and we need to return to actually feeling sorry for actual victims. Not every story has a villain that's just misunderstood. Not every story is just about a poor person that just made a simple mistake. No, how about we just start making some generalities? Let's just say they're evil. Harjinder Singh, you broke into the country. You wanted a better life for yourself. Alright, you gotta go, but alright. You didn't integrate. Yeah, I'm really not happy about that. In fact, it frustrates me, but alright. Then you continue to break the law, leading to the deaths of 3 people. Okay, that's unacceptable. You can get charged with a crime, you're gonna serve out your sentence, and then you're getting out. Oh, and then you decide to flee the law and go back to the sanctuary state? Oh, now you're evil. And you should be treated as evil. You should get a sentence as if you're evil. I see no reason Harjinder Singh shouldn't get the same sentence as a career criminal. And if people want to say, oh, don't make an example out of him, yes. Please make an example out of them. You know what happens when you make an example out of evil people? You get fewer evil people. If you get more evil people after you make an example out of evil people, you clearly didn't really make a good enough example, so make a stronger one. There's 2 reasons why jail and prisons exist. 1, deterrence, so you don't get more of that crime, and 2, restitution, so the people who feel victimized from the crime don't go out and start doing vigilante justice and revenge. But when you have these giant movements on social media trying to make a victim out of a victimizer, you destroy that entire process of justice for a new, fake, social justice. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. If you like this video, go check out my other content, like the previous one I actually did, which touched on this subject, entitled The Truth About 55 Million Visa Holders in America, where I discuss whether or not that 55 million is actually accurate. And we talk about how the Trump administration has put those visa holders on notice and has decided to begin some process of continuous vetting to find out which ones are engaged in anti or un-American activities, presumably with the goal of removing their visa. Or if you're really into sad stories, go watch this video entitled Police Chase Ends in Tragedy, The True Story of Deshaun Leith, where I talk about a previous incident that went viral across the United States of a man that seemed coked out of his mind, steals a police car, and then leads on a 30-minute chase before eventually jumping out, assaulting a police officer, and then dying. But let me know in the comments, do you feel Harjinder Singh is a kindred spirit? Do you feel that he's a positive contribution to the community? Or do you think, like I do, that this is probably the worst possible PR you could have for a community, if you want to call it that? But in the end, I really want to be here for you, the viewer. I always want to try to find something niche about a story or something relevant to our culture. Like, I don't want to spend all my days churning out review after review about popular media saying Hollywood bad, Disney bad, wow, it's so terrible. Here's the latest rage bait, clickbait headline. That's not me. That's something that's never interested me. So let me know if you like this format. Let me know what I can do to improve it, because I'm still learning. And like I said, I want to do the best I can for you. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.